It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk is brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. Banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute. Comprehensive cutting-edge care giving you every reason to choose Hayes Med. United Rentals. Your partner for equipment rental, sales, and service. VTI. Your John Deere dealer. With locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. VTI. Our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Royal Roofing. Give your home the royal treatment with Royal Roofing. And Eagle. Our community connected. Now, Tiger Talk with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And good morning. Welcome into another edition of Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you. We'll be joined here shortly by head football coach Chris Brown. Tigers coming off a tough one Saturday, losing at home to Central Missouri, 28-24. They're off this weekend, their bye weekend, so no game this Saturday, and then they wrap up the year on the 15th, a week from Saturday, in Emporia, Welch Stadium against the Emporia State Hornets. We'll take a little preview look at that game toward the end of the show. We'd love to hear from you as always. We had a few questions emailed in to us over the weekend. You can certainly do that. We can still get to them later on in the program. All you have to do is go to the Fort Hays State Athletics website, fhsuathletics.com. Click on the Fans tab. You'll get that drop-down menu there in the lower right corner. You'll see Tiger Talk Ask the Coach. Submit your question. If we use it, you'll have a chance to win yourself that Mix 103.3 T-shirt. It's a hot item. Everybody loves them. Really nice-looking T-shirt. Chance for you to win that. Again, we appreciate all the questions we've had coming in throughout the season. We've had a couple more today we'll get to, and you can chime in during the program, and we'll try to remember to check for those and get those on. Programming note here at the beginning, just to remind you, no football game this Saturday, so we're not going to have a Tiger Talk next Monday. We'll cover everything today. No show next Monday. Then we'll do our final Tiger Talk on the, the 17th after the final game at Emporia State. We'll wrap up the year with head coach Chris Brown. So be sure to tune in for that. And then we'll be shifting gears to basketball. Yep, they'll be starting in a little less than 2 weeks. And we'll have our first Tiger Talk with the basketball coaches the week following toward the end of November. Tiger Talk, as always, brought to you by Golden Belt Bank, banking one story at a time. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. You can visit them at goldenbeltbank.com. Coach, tough one Saturday. Man, it looked good for a while, and then just did not go your way in the fourth quarter. A lot of things went wrong. I guess you've had a little bit of time to think about it. I'm sure watched the film over and over and over again. Just your overall thoughts of Saturday. It was obviously disappointing.
I just feel like we left too many points out there as well. We had a chance to make a field goal. We didn't make that. We threw an interception in the end zone as well. Dropped a deep pass, and could have gone for a touchdown, and then defensively just gave up a couple two bit big plays,
Mm-hmm.
And that last drive, that's really disappointing as well. Them going 99 yards to win the ball game, basically. But that's kind of what I take away from it. We just didn't finish, and we left some things out there that we shouldn't have. They didn't really change much offensively than what they did in the first half. We just didn't cover it as well, and we just didn't play very well. And of course the penalties too, that really kill us. The unsportsmanlike, those are the ones that drive me the most crazy, because it's just about discipline, and we weren't very disciplined in those situations.
I think you mentioned it after the game. The lack of discipline was something that really bothered you, especially in the second half. Wasn't so much in the first half, but definitely after halftime.
It was. Especially that. Look at that last drive. We got them third down, backed up, and we give up a big play, and then all of a sudden we get a 15-yarder, then we give up 5 yards for being offsides on defense. That's about 60 yards right there all by itself, and getting them a chance to win that ball game. But it was the big play and those penalties, which is, we got to make the play defensively in that situation. We're going to bring some pressure and play man coverage, and, you got to lock your guys up. But those penalties in those situations they kill you. The one with the Ethan in the end zone, but granted it was both sides, so it didn't really count against us. But it's still that thought in my own head is that, hey, we're more disciplined than that. That could have helped us out in that situation to back them up even more. And then, just stupid ones. It's the discipline part of it in the second half that really upset me. Got guys got to keep their heads on straight, stay calm, cool, collected, and not get those kind of things.
They didn't quite go with the tempo we've seen Central Missouri do in the first half. Second half, it looked more like the Central Missouri we have seen. They were quick-paced, more tempo. Did that play a hand in maybe them getting some of that momentum? Because the first half, they seemed more like a traditional team. They didn't run a lot of plays.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, they were just kind of a normal offense in the first half. And the second half, I mean, there was times they kind of sped up, but nothing that should have affected us in any way. Because, I mean, we practice those things constantly in practice. And, it's going to be a pretty simple coverage. It's going to be a pretty simple twist up front possibly or something that the kids can check to by themselves. But, it was nothing that they did. I think really in this game was, I keep talking to our guys, it's you versus you right now. You guys are your own worst enemies, and we're killing ourselves right now in these ball games. So it's just, it comes down to discipline, doing your assignment, and playing hard and physical. I still don't think we're playing as physical as we possibly can right now, because it's not the type of physicality that I'm expecting our team to play with right now.
You mentioned big plays, and that's kind of been a problem all year. You've done a better job of not giving up big plays, but it seems like when they do happen, they're at the worst possible time. You've just taken the lead with a big play, or you've added to the lead. You went up by 17, but then they get that 63-yard touchdown pass, and it just seemed like that ignited them. If you can eliminate that, I mean, it's probably a whole different outcome, but that seemed to be really the big turning point. After you'd gone up 17, they come right back with a quick score.
It's right after half, too, right? We talked to our guys about, being smart, keeping everything in front, stay back, don't bite up on the short routes. If you're, a safety or a corner, let everything kind of develop up front, let the linebackers and the bandits and those guys take care of those short routes, and we'll take care of the deep ones. And of course we didn't, right? We're slow out. They're in a little bunch set, and they send two guys vertical. One runs kind of a dig late, and the other one just continues vertical on, and there's really nobody there to go make the play. But just got to let those things go. Just got to stay back and stay in your zone. And, I mean, really that's a ball that probably should have been picked, by us, but we just weren't in position to go make it.
Well, it was one of those tough games. It just didn't seem to make enough plays. But once that momentum turns, and it's hard to get it back, and it kind of felt that way. Even though you got the big punt, you pinned them back at the 1 yard line, and as you said, that was the disappointing part as you let them go 99 yards, because you felt like, okay, you got them kind of where you want to get them here. Let's get off the field, get the ball back, and run out this clock.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Right in that situation. Had like third down. We played some man coverage and get some pressure on him just to make him get rid of the ball pretty quick. Threw it up. Their guy made a really nice play on the ball, right? And then a couple plays later, we get an unsportsmanlike, and there's another 15 yards to it. And
it came right after you had a tackle for loss. Yeah. So I think it would have put him in a third and 11 or something.
Yeah, third and 11, second down, second and long, something like that. And then all of a sudden we're, in a situation where we jump off sides, as a safety out there on the edge, and I mean, there's another 5 yards, so we gave him 20 yards right there just in penalties, and then the big play. So, again, just really frustrated with that series of plays right there. That drive itself, I mean, just really rubs me the wrong way, and our guys got to get better in those situations. And it's just, I don't know if it's a lack of focus, but I don't know how you can't be focused for 4 quarters, ready to play, locked in, tuned in, and ready to go make plays.
Well, and make the argument is a bye come at a good time or a bad time, but when it ends that way, probably the worst thing is have to sit on this thing for 2 weeks.
Yeah, then that's okay, right? We need to sit on it a little bit and let it stew a little bit, and maybe that'll help us, focus in a little bit more on what we need to do as a team, and even as an individual, and me as a coach, like what are the things I can change to make sure that this doesn't happen. That in this last game we find a way to go win this ball game.
Tigers come up a little bit short, 28-24, falling to the Mules of Central Missouri. We'll talk more about the game. We'll also look ahead toward the Emporia State Hornets. That'll be in 2 weeks on the 15th at Welch Stadium. We'll get to all of that. We'll get to your questions again. You can go to FHSUathletics.com, click on fans. There's a drop-down, and we'll get to your questions a little bit later on in the program. A reminder, you can always sync up our radio broadcast with the MIAA Network video feed. Listen to us on the TuneIn app. If you don't have the TuneIn app already, you can download it to your tablet, to your smartphone, and then search Mix 103.3 KJLS Hayes. Make that one of your favorite stations, and on game day, that's where you'll listen to the game. Usually we're a little bit ahead of the video stream, but if we're behind for whatever reason, just pause whichever one's ahead right at opening kickoff, or right after a big play, let the audio catch up or the video catch up, and then you're synced up. It's a cool way. I've done it before on the road when they have the men and women playing at different basketball locations. You can listen to the radio call while watching it on the MIAA Network, a way to listen to us while you're watching the game. We'll take a break. More to come with Coach Chris Brown. It's Tiger Talk on this Monday here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
So I had a gentleman come into Golden Belt Bank, very confused with an estimate of closing costs and fees he received from another bank. And I said I would sit down with him and go over these costs. We also issued some closing costs and fees that he could compare. He ended up choosing Golden Belt Bank as his bank. I would do that for anybody that walked in here, anybody that was confused. I really do want them to get the best deal that they can. We try and do everything possible to make their dream come true. Golden Belt Bank, one story at a time.
Dooley in motion from left to right. They're going to be running it by the quarterback again. Dooley, a good block. Hebner breaks a tackle. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Fort Hays State. Yeah, Fort Hays State getting on the board there. Nice game from Caleb Hebner. Nice game from Keyshawn Dooley as well, the Tiger sophomore wide receiver. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. It's brought to you today by United Rentals of Hays, your partner for equipment rental, sales, and service. Whether it's big or small, you'll find it all at United Rentals. Tigers falling to Central Missouri 28-24 on Saturday. Big day from Caleb Hebner, and we saw that against Washburn. He ran the ball a bit more, career high 144 yards, and really utilized him in the running game, and especially the first half. He was running around making plays, throwing the ball pretty well, but just seemed like you utilized him in the run again very effectively.
And that's kind of who he is, right? He's a backyard guy that likes to run around and make things happen, and you know, it's probably something we should have done earlier in the year, but, I mean, that's just kind of who he is, you know, getting out in the open and then making plays with his feet as well, and then, you know, making some throws off of it as well, too. So he had a really good game. The only one bad was probably the interception, you know, right at the very beginning of the game that – but there's two ways that goes, right? I mean, he puts a little bit more zip on it. We get the touchdown, or the receiver just comes back to the ball and you know, at least draws a pass interference. We get a first down. So that's about the only thing I didn't see him do really well. But he was in tune with the game, ran hard, ran physical, and I mean, he almost had that long one at the fourth quarter or third quarter, where he almost got all the way in the end zone. But that's who he is. I mean, and you could tell he was enjoying it, having fun, and playing the game that he likes to play.
Yeah, it's funny on post game. He just said, I'm slow. I'm too slow. But it was funny. Yeah, run, Caleb, run. But I will ask you about the interception. With that possession too, you go, look, you had a touchdown catch. That, you know, a rough day for Jabari. Made some nice catches, but right in his hands, you catch that, it's a touchdown. Yep. And then you had the pick on that same drive in the end zone. Felt like, you know, either not enough zip or maybe just saw him a little bit too late. Just what all happened on that play in the end zone?
You know, first, like Jabari, just to start with him, I mean, he had two nice catches right in a row.
Absolutely.
Right, and I was like,
traffic.
Man, all right, he's ready to roll. He's right. Here he is, a guy we've been looking for all year. And then, you know, he needed to catch that one. I mean, that was a great ball by Caleb to put it on him to score that touchdown. But then, you know, the other one with Caleb and Tariq, I mean, it's a little stutter play that, you know, we put in because we knew their safeties were going to bite hard, and he bit. Corner came off, and the corner was about 10 yards away. I mean, that corner made a heck of a play on the ball, but again, quarterback had a little bit of pressure on him. Still, just, you know, you got to step up, put some zip on it because you know the situation, and we got to get down there. And you kind of lofted it a little bit too high, and but in that situation, too, I mean, you tell your receivers all the time, if the ball's a little short, you got to come back and attack the ball, and that's something we didn't do, and they end up with the ball.
That seems like that's been kind of a problem all year long. I know you guys have talked about it every week in practice, but it seems to still be a problem of those situations. We've seen other times where you just come back, you might get a PI at worst, you know, on some of the interceptions. At least it's not intercepted, and you live to play another play.
And that's it. I mean, it's a simple concept, you would think, but it's just, guys get in that right mode and that right mentality to, hey, I got to go make a play on this ball right now. And when the ball's in the air, it's our ball. And just kind of know where the defenders are at. We can't sit and wait on balls to come to us. We have to go attack it and go get it. And the same thing with defense. We got to do those same things. Matt McBride had a great interception, said like he needed to sit. He saw the ball. He went and attacked the ball and picked it. So it's the same thing offensively. When the ball's in the air, we got to go find ways to get it, not wait for it to come to us.
You bring up Matt McBride, redshirt freshman out of Fort Worth. Seems like he has had a really good season from getting the start as a redshirt freshman to where he is today. He's become one of the better guys on the back end of the defense.
No, he's done well. He's always watching film, asking Coach Brown, my son, the other Coach Brown.
The other Coach Brown.
Questions all the time because that is his coach. And he's trying to learn more every day, and he's getting better with his technique and fundamentals every day, and he's starting to see things a lot better now. And we knew it was just going to be a matter of time. And, he's starting to really start to play like an upperclassman now. He's starting to figure things out. And, if he can build off of that, he's going to be really good here in the future.
I was going to say the other Coach Brown with hair, but that would have been mean. That would not have been nice for me to say that at all. Keyshawn Dooley, we heard the block on the Caleb Heavner touchdown run. He had 4 catches, 81 yards, one of them for a touchdown. Well, I think we'll hear the highlight of that a little bit later on in the show. It seems like he's another guy quietly getting better. I thought he maybe had his best game, and it wasn't just the 4 catches for 81. It was the blocking that he kind of sprung the edge there for Caleb to turn upfield and get into the end zone. It felt like that was maybe his best game on Saturday.
He really came around, this game, and that same one he scored on is the same play Tyreek ran, right? It's the same exact play. Nothing was different. But there just wasn't anybody around, right? He's able to get it to him wide open and goes and scores, and those ones are usually the hardest ones.
I'm just going to bring that up. That's not always easy when you're the only one there.
And he made it. But his blocking was tremendous, in this game. He got on the edge. He was physical. He was aggressive. We've been doing a lot of that, wide receivers and DBs in practice in at least 5 minutes every single day, or at least twice a week. Working on our blocking and us getting off of blocks as well. So it's worked. That seems to be helping us out, in the blocking scheme, and defense. Our defense guys being able to get off blocks as well. But no, he's really starting to turn into that guy we were counting on, and he's just getting better each and every week. I'm starting to feel more comfortable each and every week, and you can really see him start to progress. These last few weeks, and just on who he is and what he's going to do for this program.
Yeah, just a young guy too, redshirt sophomore. We had a chance to visit with him during the week. It was week before, I think, during the weekly press conferences, and really, really nice young man, and you can just tell he's starting to get more confident. And you mentioned the downfield blocking. That's always kind of been a trademark of your receiving core, and we haven't seen as much of opposing defensive backs angry after plays because they're being blocked downfield, but that's always kind of been a trademark of Fort Hays State receiving.
That's Coach McCray, right? You're not going to catch a ball if you can't block, and so that's what he really hounds on his guys about, because he won't play if you're not a blocker. He don't want those guys that are just receiving guys. He wants guys that can do both, and he hounds them every day about it. We work on it almost every day, and they're getting better at it, and you can see him get on those guys. It kind of frustrates those DBs, and their progression's gotten better. As early in the season we were getting a bunch of holding calls, but now they're starting to get their hands inside and understanding when to let go and all those things as well too. So no, it is, if you can't block, you're not playing for Fort Hays.
Well, and we saw David Arriaga in the game. Then unfortunately looked like aggravated his whatever leg or hip area and didn't come back. We had a true freshman come in there in Rogers and kick an extra point. He kind of a thrust. I mean, you had your emergency kicker, but he's a young guy. He's obviously going to be in the picture down the road. Good to see him step up and come in and get a big extra point for you in his, I think, first game he's suited up in his career.
Yeah, it is. He's a young man that's had some. He's kind of injured when he first got here. Same thing, hip problems as well, and just had to get him time to get healthy. But he has a very strong leg, punting and kicking. And then David he kind of pulled his hip flexor again on that kick, and so Paulie was kind of banged up a little bit too, and so just all these different things. Just so many injuries right now that we're dealing with, but it's no excuse for the loss. But to see Cole go in and make that kick, that PAT was good. He took a little too much time for me. I could tell him this was not high school. This is actually college football, and those guys are coming to block it. And because you're right, I got to speed it up. So, but good to see that and hopefully got him some confidence, and we'll probably use him this week.
Porter Danovic's going to be our player guest here in a little bit. Tiger offensive lineman starting right tackle. That offensive line, you were really pretty healthy all year until about the last 3 weeks of the season. And, I mean, I think you had your fourth different offensive right guard start in the game. You had Mason Hogan, the redshirt freshman out of Plainville, get his first career start at the left guard position. It's been kind of a mix-and-match unit that you've had to mix and match even during games. How do you feel they did, especially those young guys, two of them getting their first ever career starts for you, Avery Coleman and Mason Hogan?
Yeah, well, thank goodness for Coach Bolden, right, and for Porter and Josh Shaw and Brandon Kerr, the three seniors that can really grab those guys underneath their wings and watch film with them and talk about technique and fundamentals and, when to come off double teams, when not to come off double teams. If it wasn't for those seniors, those kids would probably be pretty lost. But, they're playing they did pretty well. They got some movement. They didn't miss very many blocks. They did what they were asked to do, and you can't ask for more than that. I mean, the good thing is they're getting experience, because we're going to need those guys, in the future when these three guys are done, because we lose.
That's
really,
going to bring it up.
ones.
You lose three pretty good ones who've been there for a long, long time, and I guess if there's a silver lining, they kind of get a head start and they get some true game experience now here in the last few weeks of the season.
Yeah, that's the one positive. You still wish you had your other guys that are in there and playing, and we're going to be pretty young next year across the board on the O-line, but this experience is really going to truly help them out, and these guys have taught them enough that hopefully they continue to be successful like these offensive linemen have been. But you can't say enough about those three linemen that we have right now, the Porter and Shaw and Kerr. Those kids are tough. They're physical. They have a great time playing the game of football as well. Just a good group of kids, and they always got a smile on their face.
Well, we're going to get to know one a little bit better. Porter Danovic is our player guest, a veteran on the offensive line, and he'll be joining us right after the break. Hey, look your best on Tiger Game Day with official Nike gear from BSN Sports in the Sideline store. Go to FHSUathletics.com, click on Shop. That's where you'll find hundreds of products and designs, and they're all customizable. FHSUathletics.com, click on Shop, and open up the Tiger Team store. We'll take a break. When we come back, Porter Danovic will join us. He's our player guest today, and we'll talk to him next here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
At BTI, we pride ourselves on providing quality John Deere equipment and customer support. Since 1944, BTI has been serving farmers and commercial operators with mowers, tractors, and compact construction equipment at an affordable price. As a leader in the ag industry, BTI offers complete technology solutions so our farmers can help keep America running. Experience the BTI difference for yourself.
Call on BTI.
Our family in partnership with your family.
Dropping back, throws it across the middle. It's intercepted by Matt McBride. He's got it at the 40, midfield, gets a block 45, and then slides at the Central Missouri 42-yard line.
Yeah, nice interception there. You heard Coach talk about it. Matt McBride, redshirt freshman out of Fort Worth, Texas, having himself a nice season and got his first career INT Saturday in the first half against Central Missouri. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. It's presented by BTI, your full-service John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. Joined now by Porter Danovic. He is the starting right tackle for Fort Hays State. And I think, 33rd career start on Saturday, 37th career game, something like that. You've been a mainstay on the offensive line. It was senior day, and obviously not the way you wanted it to end. Just talk about the emotions. You've run through a lot of battles on the offensive line in the black and gold. What was it like knowing it was the last time playing at Lewis Field on Saturday?
I mean, obviously it was not how I wanted to go out at Lewis Field, but I've had some great memories and made a lot of great friends through Fort Hays, and I don't know, just not the way I wanted to go out, but was glad to do it with my friends, my teammates. They're like family at this point. So
emotionally, how did you handle that? Because we've seen senior days all over the board. Some guys it really affects them. Others it's no big deal, and it doesn't really affect their play. Did it have much effect, or were you pretty much by game time ready to roll like you always are?
No, I was ready to roll. Same thing. Go out there and just do what I can, do my job, and hopefully it ends up in a win. And yeah.
Sometimes I get the feeling offensive lineman, it's a little bit different. And the emotion part of it, just by the nature of your business and what you do. I mean, you're banging into dudes all day long. You're the ones that you and the defensive lineman. I mean, every play you're banging in. I mean, not the quarterback doesn't get every play. Receivers don't get hit every play. Defensive backs every time. It's got to, I would think, take a little bit different mentality just to physically to handle that throughout the course of a year.
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely beat up. I have been the 4 years I've been here dealing with different injuries, but it's just I love football, and me getting banged up keeps the other guys from getting banged up, so it's just part of it. And
talk about just your time at Fort Hays. Let's start with there. How Lawrence High, correct? Yeah, yep. Lawrence guy. Just the journey and how you end up being a Tiger.
Out of high school, I went on visits to a lot of the MIAA schools, and Coach Brown and Coach Bryant, who's not here anymore, I just it felt more like home with them and somewhere I wanted to spend 4 or 5 years of my life. And I'm really glad I made the decision, and I don't think I'd change it if I got to go back.
Well, and you've obviously been a mainstay. We talked about it. You've been a mainstay on the starting lineup for most of your career. You've played pretty much every year. And you've kind of gone through with, when Coach mentioned Brandon Kerr and Josh Shaw, the three of you all came in together. You've all been out there most every game. To have two cohorts in that regard, along with yourself, what's that been like for the three of you? You've been the mainstay of this offensive line, which by and large has played pretty well throughout the time you guys have been here.
Yeah, obviously when I was a redshirt freshman and they were freshmen, we started off kind of rough. But now we've built it up together, and they're some of my best friends. And I know, we got Mason and Avery in there now, but I think Mason and Avery were able to ask us, they're physically gifted and ready for it, just mentally there's a little bit to work on. So they could ask me, Sean Kerr, and I think they played really well on Saturday, and that was part of it.
It's going to bring that up a little bit, trying to bring some of these young guys along. Offensive line, it's more complicated than this. There's a guy there, you go block him. Just talk about that, because there's a lot of schemes, a lot of different techniques and different things you do. I mean, it's not just you go up and you hit the guy in front of you. There's a lot more involved in playing offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, there are different blitzes, different stunts. You got to know how to handle it, and our different protections. But you can make it simple if you think about it in the right way. It's just a matter of getting to the point where you can break it down slowly in your head while out there playing fast.
You mentioned Brandon Kerr. He's the center and kind of the quarterback of the O-line. I know he kind of gets you guys set. What are you listening for? What's he telling you? Or what are you guys doing when you get to the line of scrimmage after you know what play is going to be run?
I mean, he makes the front call, who the mic is. I think if me and Shaw could both probably make that call at this point.
Yeah, probably in your sleep.
It's nice to hear it, and then it helps get everybody set on where we're working to, what our combos are, what the slide is. He's in charge of all of that out there.
And then we talked about just the physical pounding, and I guarantee you there's no offensive lineman in America that's feeling 100% today. Just the mentality it takes to play offensive line, just knowing, and there's some good D-lines in the MIAA and some good dudes across from you each and every Saturday. Just the mentality to know it's going to hurt and I'm going to be beat up at the end of the day, but you just keep going after it and banging them all day long.
For me, how I get out there, I love football, and that's just what I tell myself because, my body's going through it. I have one more game ever. I just got to tell myself that you got to go make the most of it and enjoy it while I can.
Visiting with Porter Danovic, Fort Hays State starting right tackle. We're going to pause real quick. We'll have more with Porter, but first we need to pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Tiger Sports Network.
Beers, wines, and spirits. Pick up a winner at Kaiser Liquor with 2 convenient locations in Hays. Tiger Radio, Mix 103.3, KJLS, Hays.
Back on Tiger Talk with Fort Hays State offensive lineman Porter Danovic. He'll have his question for the coach here in a little bit, but we got a little bit more visiting to do with Porter, the Lawrence High grad and a mainstay on the Fort Hays State offensive line. Pass blocking, run blocking. Which one you like better? Which one's easier? Which one's more challenging?
I like run blocking a lot more because pancakes is what you work for as an O-lineman. And in the pass game, you can still be aggressive, but you can't run somebody into the turf or dirt or whatever you want to call it. So definitely run blocking.
How hard is it because you got called for a hold a few games ago, and we watched the replay, and we thought it was a terrible call. You were engaged with the defensive end. He kind of twists on you, and then I think the official sees the very end when he falls down and just assumed it was a hold. And it seemed like there's a little bit more of that called nowadays. How frustrating is that for you, especially on the tackle when you're kind of out there by yourself, and it's something like that the defensive lineman does, and you had perfect technique, and you still get flagged for it?
I mean, there's definitely plays where I should get called for hold that I don't.
So it all evens out is what you're saying.
So it balances out. I mean, I play the same way. If they call a hold, they do. It's been a lot better this year compared to other years. I think I only have 3 on the year, when last year I had 3 in a game. So.
Right, I remember that. I wasn't going to bring that up, but since you did, yeah. Okay, I want to ask you about Lawrence High, Free State. What's that rivalry like? What was it like playing high school at Lawrence High, which hasn't won state titles recently, but at one time was kind of like the program in the state of Kansas. It seemed like every year they were 6A state champs.
Yeah, no. Speaking of Lawrence High Free State, that's the only game Lawrence High won this year. So
well, I didn't mean to maybe bring up bad memories, but
they got the rivalry this year. But
very good.
no, I mean, I love Lawrence High. It'll always be a part of who I am and a part of my football career. But yeah, I mean, the rivalry's cool across town. I'm friends with a lot of the guys that went there, and yeah, it's just a good. Yeah.
The Chesty Lion. That is Porter Danovic, Fort State starting right tackle. All right, we'll get to your question for the coach here a little bit. Just want to ask you, a bye week this week, no game, and then Emporia State in 2 weeks to close out the year. How do you personally handle this bye week? I'm guessing, one, get healthy a little bit just to try to feel as good as you can go into that last game. And then what do you feel you guys need to do to improve on it and try to close this season out in a positive note and get a good feeling, especially for guys like you, your seniors, on your last game?
Yeah, because last game, really want to go out with a win. I mean, obviously, we're beat up. We need to get healthier. And then just attacking these last 2 weeks of practice. We need to practice like we want to play. And we've been better about that, but I still feel like it can get stepped up and show the younger guys how you're supposed to practice before we head out.
And also, when you see, and I know he didn't score on it, Caleb's 77-yard run, there's been other plays this year, big pass plays or whatever. When you see the offense make a big play like that, knowing you had obviously it doesn't happen without a good job up front, how does that make you guys all feel?
No, it's great because obviously we're big. D-line gets to rotate. We get tired, so when we see a big play break off it's great. And the funny part is, me and Caleb were talking before that drive, and I said, "Are you going to break one loose?" And he goes, "Yeah, but I might get caught."
Well, he did, but he did break a big one, and he eventually scored the touchdown on it. That's funny stuff. All right, we're visiting with Porter Danovic. We're going to bring Coach back up here, let him get the headset on. It's the much-anticipated Ask the Coach. It may be the most popular part of the entire program, and I can understand why. We've had some good ones. I mean, we found out Coach is a Michael Jackson fan. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love Michael Jackson. Did not expect that, though. We found out he played with a broken neck for half a season. He would have played baseball if he didn't play football. So now it's your chance. The floor is yours, Porter.
Be careful.
Be careful, yes.
Careful.
We were joking before. It's like, no game, and there probably won't be any repercussions, but then maybe it'll be worse because there's no game set. I think Coach, he's taken these he's been a good sport. So it's your chance to ask Coach anything that's just that burning that's your whole time here. What do you want to ask the coach? The floor is yours, Porter Danovic. Ask the coach.
I guess, what's your favorite football memory, either playing or coaching?
Playing would be the two probably. Well, it's crazy because I played in some big games. My senior year of high school, played in the state game, lost it.
Who'd you lose to?
We lost to Blue Valley Stillwell.
Okay.
Schottenheimer and all those guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, lost to them. Played in the Shrine Bowl. Lost that game. Played in 2 national championships. Lost both those games. Played in the Senior Bowl. They used to have called the Snow Bowl up in
right.
I think it was in Fargo.
Where it was in the Dome, I think. Yep.
In the Dome, and lost that game as well. So I've played in some really, really big ones. Just haven't been able to win the big ones. So we got to figure that out. But though those are probably the ones the biggest ones I remember. But just getting to play in the Shrine Bowl with guys from different schools and guys you were battling against with during the regular season is always fun to kind of meet those guys and see who they were, and then even when we played in the snowball, just meeting those guys that were from different colleges, and everybody's competing for the same thing and trying to get on the field and play and show out for the scouts. I was just too short, obviously, and probably not enough hair back then either. So, but it was just those are probably the ones I think of the most. But it's just those memories with my teammates, and you'll remember them forever, right? You're gonna get your buddies right now that, I still got my 3 roommates from college. We still got our own little group chat together. That now it's not every day, right? It might be like every 2 weeks or something. Somebody will throw something out there. So, but no, those are probably the best. It's going to be the friendships that I made when I was in college.
All right, good stuff. Good question, Porter. You did well, and we really appreciate the visit. It's been fun not only visiting with you today, but watching you play throughout your career. You've been a mainstay on the offensive line, and I guess I say enjoy the bye week. It's probably losing it. I mean, to stick with this for 2 weeks, hopefully that brings a little bit of fire out in everybody to get after it when you guys hit the field at Emporia State.
Yep.
All right, well, appreciate the visit. It's been a pleasure watching you play, and let's go get those Hornets in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good.
There you go. Porter Danovic. He's been our player guest today here on the program. Tiger Talk brought to you by the Taco Shop. Order by phone. Use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, and delivery. You've never had it so good. Chris Brown joins us after the break. This is Fort Hays State's Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Looking for unique flavor at low prices? Look no further than Taco Shop in Hays. We have original, made-from-scratch Mexican food, sure to satisfy an empty stomach. Take a bite out of these delicious deals. Grab a beef or cheese enchilada, bite into a beef and bean burrito, or chow down on a Sancho. Save time with our free Taco Shop app. Have delicious fresh taste in just a few taps. Dine in, get it to go, or have it delivered. Taco Shop. You've never had it so good.
Come on down to the taco shop. You never had it. You never had it so good. To the taco shop.
Handoff. Douglas. Nope. Keeper Huebner breaks a tackle. He's into the clear. He's at the 40. He's at midfield. Can he win the race? Far numbers 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. He's taken down at the 1-yard line. He could not get it into the end zone. Touchdown saving tackle Abraham Hoskins, but a run of 77 yards for Caleb Huebner.
Yeah, career-long run for Caleb. Oh, he was also close. That would have been cool. He was trying. He gave it everything he had. But as we talk with Porter, I mean, good job by the offensive line up front and opened up. And great run from Caleb. One I'm sure he'll remember for a long time. And I'm wondering when the film session is going to be a little bit of ribbing from everybody for not being able to get that last yard.
There's going to be something for sure, whether it's in the pool workout today, whether it's in the team meeting today. I mean, there's going to be some type of something. Will be somebody will say something. It might be.
You kind of have to a little bit,
absolutely.
Don't you?
Yeah, you can't get caught. You're a yard away. You got to get in there.
That was a great run and a great job by everybody up front. And you're kind of just a weird game in that you ran for over 200 yards as a team. What was it, 208? That snapped a string of 29 straight games in which Fort Hays State had run for 200 more yards and won. And since you've been the head coach now, 45-4 when rushing for over 200. It doesn't happen very often. Usually you get for 200 on the ground, you find a way to win a football game. It just didn't happen Saturday.
No, it didn't. And it all came down to, just not making enough plays on either side of the ball. And opportunity to kick a field goal, right? And we missed the field goal. The interception in the end zone, the drop pass. I mean, all those. You take all of those. We don't give up a couple big plays, defensively, or a couple penalties. Maybe they don't score as well. So you just add all those things up. You're looking at probably 28 to 35 points, maybe swinging our way. But we just can't allow those things to happen. But I'm a run guy. I love to run the ball. I don't know. It must be the defensive guy in me or whatever it is. But I think, being able to establish the run game really can wear a defense down too, and allow you to make some play action passes off of it.
Curtis Douglas pretty much had the lone day at running back, and 15 carries, 64 yards, had the touchdown. I thought he was really solid. Seemed like, other than maybe a couple times, every time he touched, it was positive yardage. He was running uphill, made a couple nice bounce outs when it was clogged up the middle, and got some nice yardage. Almost made an incredible run, tippy-toeing along the UCM sideline. Your thoughts on him? It looked like he had maybe one of his better days at running back on Saturday.
He's getting so much better. I think he's just really now starting to understand, our offense. I mean, it takes a while, right? When you're talking about working with the offensive lineman, where's the double team at, who's coming off to the ID and where the -1, all those different things that Porter was talking to you guys about, like what's he talking about. But it's just all numbers and knowing who's who and understanding the play call as well. Is it a gap scheme or is it just a zone scheme as well? So if he's starting to figure those things out, if it's all plugged up, you just keep it tight and bounce outside and make things happen. But he's, by far, I thought Saturday was his best game.
And good to see him bounce back. And we talked about it last week. He had the 2 fumbles against Washburn. He stuck to it and got his number called late, made a couple of really big runs to help you get that win. And then to back that up with a solid performance, it's got to make you proud to see how he handled that adversity and has moved on from it.
It is, and really going into this spring, like, okay, what can we make this guy into? Because I think he could be, a very dynamic force. I know he can catch the ball out of the backfield. I know he's faster than what he's running right now. But again, it's when you're not real certain about what you're doing, you don't play quite as fast. But I really think this kid is going to be really good for us.
Well, it was fun to see him have a pretty solid game, help the Tigers to a big day on the ground. Another guy I want to ask you about before we get to some of the questions, John Johnson, 17 tackles Saturday. Put him over 100. First Tiger to get over 100 in the season since the 2018 campaign. And just again felt like he was all over the field defensively.
And it was hard in that game, right? Because those were a lot of one-on-one tackles. As much as they spread you out, everybody's everywhere. I mean, he had to make a lot of open field tackles. I mean, good for him. I mean, that's hard to do in a game like that, but he was. I mean, he was making plays left and right for us, and he needs to continue that this next game. But no, he's played really well this year.
One of my favorite. I'm sure he got credit for it when Omolo, their starting quarterback, slid because he was coming off the edge, and there's ready just to light him up, and he just slid and kind of landed at his feet, and John just stood there. I think Dustin on the broadcast says he needs to take that tape and just edit that and keep that forever. I thought that was kind of humorous. That was a running back who did good film study and understood, I don't want to get hit by this guy.
Yeah, because, I mean, John's big. He's strong. I mean, he's bigger than what you think he is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's a big guy, and he's got good speed and runs well, and he plays really physical. So I don't blame that guy for sliding.
Good decision there. That was a good career call. John Johnson, 17 tackles. He's going to be one of the all-time great linebackers in Fort Hays State history. All right, I had a few questions to get to. We're going to go ahead and get to those now. One of them about your assistant coaches. What qualities I think we had this as a player and some of the recruits and some of the transfers, but what qualities do you look for in hiring assistant coaches? And you haven't had to hire a whole lot. That's been one of the things that I think has led to Fort Hays State's success. You haven't had a ton of turnover on the assistant coach front, and the ones who have, you kind of expected because they were looking to move up and had great opportunities, but by and large it's been pretty steady there. But what are some of those qualities you're looking for when you're having to hire some of those assistants and fill those positions?
Well, number one, just like in recruiting, it comes down to the character of the person. I mean, what kind of guy am I getting? Is he able to build relationships with his players? Is he be able to, get those guys to trust, him and everything that he do? Can he recruit? Is he a great position coach as well? Could he at some point, if he's just a position coach, be a coordinator for us in case one of these guys do move on? And just all those kind of things. But the number one thing is, who are they as a person? And are they able to build relationships with these kids and, have the same goals I have for these kids as well, which is, yes, we want to win football games, but more importantly, we want to make them into the best men that we can possibly make them, off the field, because someday they're going to be husbands and fathers, and they're going to have to find a job and take care of their families, and make sure they're prepared for that and they're ready to take that challenge on, when they're done here, and make sure they get a degree as well. So, but that's what we look for. Number one is me as character. And also, it's like, do I know you? I mean, there's a lot of times in the coaching world, it's about connections and people and then reaching out to other guys and asking them about these people as well. But like you said, most of my guys, like Coach Harris and I, have been together
long time.
A long time. Coach Bolden played for me. Coach McCray was here before I even got here, so we built a good relationship with that. Coach Ross, he was probably the one hire that we had just here recently, who's was going to be our quarterback guy, and had some changes amongst the staff, and he stepped into that offensive coordinator role. This is only his second year doing it, but I know he's going to get better, and I know what type of person that he is.
I'm going to ask you about that, because you do have some. Amari, he played for Union, but he's still pretty new to the coaching. Coach Ross, kind of the same way. I just get the sense they're still learning themselves a little bit, but it seems like they've grown a lot as the season has gone.
And that's how you grow, is right. And really, it's the time you grow the most is when things are the hardest, right? And things aren't going the greatest for you. Is when you learn the most about who you are as a coach and as a person, and your teammate and your team, and trying to get your guys ready to play, the next game and play every single down hard. And Coach Hickel, I mean, he played for me as well, right?
Exactly.
He left for he was a GA here, and then he moved off to Kansas City for a while. Then we had a job opening and asked him if he wanted to apply for it, and he did. Now he's been our D-line coach for I don't know how many years now, but has done a great job. And then, my son's helping out in the secondary as well. So got a good group. I mean, I really do. But they're just guys that really, truly care, about the young man himself first, all right, and they just make them really good football players.
Another question dealt with the undisciplined play, maybe more this year than any other year. How do you deal with that and handle that and try to get that obviously to change? I know that drives you crazy.
Just, like today at 2 o'clock, where we have this thing. We call it team impact plays, and so we're showing plays that either helped us, win a ball game, or got points on the board, or it was a great play, or things that hurt us. And so we will show those plays that in front of their whole teammates, and get on the kids a little bit about those things. But it really comes down to just being disciplined, staying in control of your mind, controlling your emotions, and I think that's something that when we get those, we're not in control of our emotions, and we get in our own heads and we make some stupid mistake of either pushing a guy, hitting a guy, or just hitting a guy out of bounds as well, which is it's unacceptable. And then this week it was 3 guys that we brought in. They haven't been here for an entire year yet, and sometimes it's just breaking bad habits from the place that they got at, where they came from.
Another question about blitzing. Want to know why we didn't blitz more in the second half on Saturday?
We did, and we gave up the big play, right? And so when you do that, sometimes you get – I mean, we sent a few blitzes, but, man, when you blitz and you give up plays and give up first downs and big plays, it's kind of hard to – well, can we cover these guys or not? Because usually when you blitz, it's a lot of man coverage stuff, and how do we match up with the receivers? After a couple plays, we felt like we – weren't in a good position to do that. We were just playing zone, and we got beat deep a couple of times as well. So there is a little bit that goes into it, but you don't want to give up the big one. And the times we did play man coverage, I mean, it hurt us.
Tiger Talk brought to you by Royal Roofing, the #1 local roofing company. Roofing, guttering, siding, and windows. Call today for a free estimate. Give your home the Royal treatment with Royal Roofing. We'll take a break. More Tiger Talk coming up next here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle. Dooley, a wide receiver left side. Hilleman here to the right. They hand it off to Douglas. Lowers his shoulder pads. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Fort Hays State. Yeah, Curtis Douglas getting into the end zone. That was right after that 77-yard Caleb Heavner run that got him down to the 1 on Saturday. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Welbrock, head football coach Chris Brown. Tigers idle this weekend. They get their bye, I guess, for lack of a better word. How do you handle that, especially this late in the year? Second year in a row it's been this way. Week 10 is your off week, kind of a late in the year, but how do you go about this week as you prepare for Emporia State the following week?
No, that's kind of crazy because really we had like Kearney this week. And
yes.
The week we played Kearney was kind of like our bye week, but we talked to them and they were kind of in the same boat we were. Like, let's just play it early and have a bye week game a little bit later. It is really, really late. I wish it was more like week 5, 6, or 7 just so we can get some guys healthy. But you still got to practice, right? You still got to get your guys that are playing right now a lot of reps, not a lot of reps, but some game-like reps. So we'll go ones versus ones, our offense versus our defense, and we'll work on our special teams and stuff as well. More individual stuff than because later in the season you kind of break away from your individual drills that you do with your guys just because you've kind of done as much as you possibly can at this point to get your guys ready. So we'll do some individual, some special teams, do some Skelly versus each other, some team versus each other. But it'll be a shorter practice. But then it's also a time to get your young guys who've been scouts, the last 9 weeks, 10 weeks now, some reps. And so we'll give us an opportunity to see them play and see them perform in front of us and see what the future holds.
All right, well, I mean, even though there's no game, still a lot going on to get ready for the last game and for the next season. We're going to take our final break. We'll take a quick preview of Emporia State. That'll be on the 15th, a week from Saturday, to close out the year at Welch Stadium. We'll do that next. Tiger Talk brought to you by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, offering the most comprehensive and advanced orthopedic care in western Kansas. Wide travel hours and the best in the region is right here at Hayes Med. Back after this on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Tired of equipment that's seen better days? Or maybe you have a project that requires a bigger machine than you own. This is Blake from United Rentals and Hayes, and we have you covered. Whether you're a contractor, a farmer, or working on your own project, we've got the machinery you need. Big or small, and everything in between, you can rent it for a day, a week, or a month. And if you're looking to own, we have a huge inventory of reliable used equipment for sale. Plus, we can service and repair the equipment you already own. Stop by United Rentals on South Vine and Hayes. We're your one-stop shop for rentals, used equipment sales, and repairs.
Back to pass, Caleb Hebner stepping up in the pocket, goes downfield, Dooley's all by himself, he catches the 25, he's going to walk it in, touchdown, Fort Hays State. Keyshawn Dooley didn't have anybody within 15 yards, and Hebner found him, and it's 23-7, Fort Hays State with a minute and a half to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, 55 yards, and Coach, we talked about it. Sometimes those are the hardest catches because you see the ball in the air forever. There's nobody near you. You know, if you catch it, you're going to probably walk in and score. That was kind of the case. Kudos to catch it first because we've seen times when that ball doesn't get caught.
That's it. Just you got to really lock in. You got to really focus. See the ball actually hit your hands. See yourself tucking it in, and then let's go score. Because a lot of times guys will take their eyes off the ball and looking for the touchdown first, and they drop it. So good job, Dooley.
But he had a good game. Good to see him. We're going to be hearing his name a lot more in the future, kind of starting to emerge in that receiving core. All right, we talked about it. Bye week this week. Idle. No game Saturday. And then Fort Hays State heads to Emporia to take on the Hornets, a young Hornet team that seems to be kind of finding their way. They've kind of been up and down, what you'd expect with a young team. I think they're playing a freshman quarterback right now. I know you'll have more time to delve into them this week, but obviously it looks like it'll be a challenge when you head to Welch Stadium here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's going to be their senior day as well. So, you know, they're representing the seniors that they have, and I'm sure they're going to play hard for them and try to get this win for them as well. But, you know, offensively, they're going to be no huddle, quick tempo, a lot of screens, some run here and there with their quarterback and running back. But, you know, just another team that we got to defend, you know, the fast tempo pace and be ready for. And then defensively, you know, they're usually a 3-3 defense, bringing blitzes from different areas and they're rolling different coverages that can give your quarterback a lot of trouble if he's not in tune with what they're doing. So very good football team. As you see through the MIAA this year, I mean, everybody's beating everybody except for no one can beat Northwest, and everybody struggles with Pitt. So it's been a heck of a year for everybody, I think.
It'll be interesting. It's funny how you and Coach Higgins are now kind of the old guard. You're the veterans in the MIAA. How quickly that turns now. You're two of the older guys.
It does. We talk about that, and we just kind of shake our heads like, how did we become the old guys? But I guess we are the old guys when you're somewhere long enough.
All right, sounds good. Coach, we appreciate the time today. Hey, good week in practice. Enjoy the bye week. Enjoy a weekend off, and then we'll look forward to gearing it up with Emporia State in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Gerard.
That's head coach Chris Brown. Again, a reminder, no show next Monday because of no game this weekend. Then we'll resume in a couple of weeks. Back here on Monday, we'll have a show wrapping up the football season following the Emporia State game. That's going to wrap up the program. Certainly appreciate you joining us today, and we look forward to talking to you again in 2 weeks. That's going to do it for Tiger Talk. So long, everyone.